G'day guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Wildkard. Thank you for watching the Wildkard Rugby Show. Like, comment, and subscribe. And yes, this is probably the 20th time that I've restarted making this video. I'm very emotional about the selection process. I am very, very, very unhappy about the selection of Joseph Suaalii. Not because he's a bad player, but because of the way that Joe Schmidt has treated everyone in the media, has treated everyone who's supporting the Wallabies like we're a bunch of fucking idiots, right? So I am very upset, and I'm going to try get through all the key points I wanted to talk about without screaming too much, because when I start screaming, I actually lose track of what I wanted to convey with regards to the Suaalii selection. And yeah, so let's go through it. Let's start with what the selection for Joseph Suaalii. To everybody's surprise, Joseph Suaalii is actually selected at outside center this weekend. There was some talks that he was going to be selected. I thought he was going to be on the wing, to be honest. And he was selected in outside center ahead of none other than Samu Kerevi. Yeah. So probably the best center, performing center in all over the world. Samu Kerevi, not just for the Wallabies, he's probably one of the best centers all over the world, has been left out because Joe Schmidt gave the excuse that he joined the camp late, and it's just a bit of a joke, to be really frank with you. So he joining the camp late led to him not being selected at all, and you put Joseph Suaalii, who has never played a single professional match of rugby union, and you try to justify that by saying, hey, he's played in the under 18s in high school. Sure, yeah, he played in high school, and that's good enough for you to put him in a test match against England at outside center position. And it really is insulting to all the fans that actually follow rugby in Australia here. You have Tim Ryan, who was told he was too small to play for the Wallabies, right? Despite Tim Ryan was the #1 winger in Australia and probably one of the top 3 wingers in all of Super Rugby. If you put the New Zealand wingers in the fold, right? He probably could be selected, on the bench for the All Blacks. That's how good his performance was in Super Rugby. But hey, Joe Schmidt thinks it's too small, and then you have guys like who actually play center in Super Rugby as well, like Josh Fluke. Who else was there? Hamish Stewart. Both had pretty stellar seasons, especially Josh Fluke for the Reds. Nah, not even considered. Go fuck yourselves, guys. Go fuck yourselves and maybe find a contract overseas, right? So the wingers, the centers that are actually playing in Australia, who actually be in camp, nah, you're not selected because, we think Joseph Suaalii would do a better job. And then you have, the money spent on Joseph Suaalii as well. That was revelation to me, and this probably was revealed earlier, that he was actually given a contract extension already. 2 extra years for $4 million, which is actually a raise. So he hasn't played a single test match, and he's already got an offer for a raise. Yes, so not only that, he's already the highest paid player in the history of Rugby Australia, he's already got a raise before playing a single test match. And, and when you look at the Wallabies team at the moment, we are really lacking in front rowers and props. We have Jem Slipper, at verge of retirement. We still haven't got anyone to replace him. And players like Jermaine Ainsley, who played in the Highlanders this year, now Rugby Australia happy to let him go. I know he was signed with New Zealand Rugby. He's going over to the France, and Rugby Australia didn't even bother to pick him up. Someone that will be crucial for the future for the scrums in the Wallabies. Nah, fuck that, because who's here to watch scrums, guys, right? And Jermaine Ainsley as well was probably one of the top 3 props in Super Rugby for the Highlanders. It's just a disgrace for how Rugby Australia just like, yeah, fuck that. We got Joseph Suaalii. That's good enough. So yeah, this whole selection is just a joke. I wonder if Joe Schmidt is pressured by someone upstairs to select him, or if he's actually lost his mind, right? He's literally taking quotes from Eddie Jones in his press conferences, saying that we are building towards the future as one of the reasoning to select Joseph Suaalii, right? Building towards the Lions tour building towards the future. Same shit that came out of Eddie Jones's mouth. He's putting out the same excuses, and you know, it is a bit of a joke. And you know, there was returning as well to Will Skelton, not selected. I mean, why did you even bring him into the camp? Did you just want to? If you're not gonna select him, why don't you bring someone new, someone younger from Super Rugby through? Nah, let's bring out Will Skelton and not have him play. All right. So that's Joe Schmidt's logic for you, right? You know, we gotta debut him at some point. Why not this weekend? That's his reasoning, right? We gotta debut him at some point. Why not debut him this weekend? Samuel Karevi came into camp too late. Sorry, mate. Out of the selection picture because you were too late. The guys that were in camp, you know, Fluke and Stewart, fuck you. Go get yourself a better contract overseas. Maybe we'll consider you when you come back, right? So, yeah, it is what it is. It's a fucking joke. And with the way England plays, quite frankly, they have actually made a selection change in England team. They've put Henry Slade at inside centre to put what's his name? Ollie Lawrence outside centre. Ollie Lawrence is a bigger, more physical player out of the centres. So England probably already predicting that this was going to happen, and they already made a selection adjustment to accommodate Wallabies, you know, stupidity this weekend of starting Joseph Suaalii in outside centre position. So with Ollie Lawrence at outside centre, there's going to be a lot of very, very, very flat lines running at him this weekend. The England really likes to do these things where they basically hit the advantage line as quickly as possible with multiple players side by side like this, looking for little offloads. And this is going to be the All Blacks already had a bit of an issue on the weekend where the player that may or may not get the offload was taken out, leading to a lot of penalties. And with Joseph Suaalii, with a bit of a history of putting shoulders, you know, putting high shots in rugby league, right? Let's turn the sound off. Yes, off. You know, putting high shots on players in rugby league. Did you see that? I think you just missed it there. Putting high shots on players in rugby league. I really think that he's probably going to send off. You know, he's got a lot more time in this here to decide to drop his body high. With the way England attacks, with the flat lines that England runs, he's going to have like a split second to decide to make a tackle on Ollie Lawrence, and he's either going to get run over, or he's going to put a high shot on Ollie and get sent off for a red card or maybe a yellow card. Who knows, right? But it is very, yeah, it's, yeah. If that happens, Joe Schmidt, you should be fired, to be frank. It tells me that you have no idea of what you're doing at this point, right? So if Joseph Suaalii gets sent off this weekend by putting on a high shot or deliberate knock on or yellow card, Joe Schmidt should be fired. No doubt should be fired, straight up. So Suaalii, you know, I had a look at his defense in rugby league. Actually, not too bad. He actually can kick goals as well. I wonder if they're going to get him to kick some goals. But he's actually not too bad. Really good round meters, to be fair. Tackle efficiency, this is probably the most important part as a centre. 86.5%. Obviously, in rugby league, there's no breakdown, so I won't be expecting any turnovers for him. Out of, the coaching at Rugby Australia clearly knows what a turnover is, the breakdown, right? You look at it, how many of the forwards in the Wallabies don't know how to turn over the ball, giving away penalties consistently at the breakdown. You think that they think the outside center needs to turn over the ball at some point? No, of course not. Yeah, you know, fuck that. Anyway, I'm getting carried away with my anger. Anyway, let's just move on, right? So there will be no turnover from Suaalii, and good run meters. It looks like I think the average run meters per game was actually quite high as well. Where was it at? It doesn't say, but it's not too bad. Not too bad overall. I think the main thing is tackle completion rate, and we'll have to see if it's gonna get sent off or not with the card this weekend. Joseph Suaalii aside, this selection this weekend. Let's go have a look at some of the recent performances on both teams first. So England has had despite losing to New Zealand 3 games in a row, they actually had a pretty big step up from their performances in Six Nations. Let's see, matches. They had big performance. There were pretty close losses against New Zealand. 3 games in a row, 2 games in New Zealand and 1 game last week at Twickenham. I thought England was probably not adventurous enough last week to capitalize on their opportunities. The concept I think that England failed to understand in their coaching stuff is the value of time. If you have if you kick 3 points after 5 phases of getting a penalty because New Zealand is under pressure due to your good work from your attack line, you should probably take that opportunity, at least, not always, right? At least some point, to go for a try to put the pressure on and control the ball a little bit more. Because the other, the fact that you kick 3 points immediately, you are actually giving time for New Zealand to play rugby, and that's why we saw New Zealand was given way too much time to play rugby, even though they weren't nearly as efficient as England in getting into, getting over the advantage line when it comes to the attack. One of the most, probably the most valuable commodity in the game is game time, and England gave way too much game time for New Zealand to put themselves back, and in the end, New Zealand did. All they needed was score a few tries to to offset all the penalties that you kick throughout the game, and I just think that even as England, you go for the line out, you go for the try, even if you don't get the try, the fact that you were controlling the time is a commodity that New Zealand did not have. It's something that I think England should improve this weekend. You can't score tries without any time, right? So England was able to, was really poorly managed. Really just gave away too much game time to New Zealand on the weekend. I think they will probably come out a little bit better that this weekend. For the Wallabies, it's been absolutely atrocious in the recent results. They have one lucky win against Argentina away. Really kind of pulled that out of the dumpster somehow, and I think it was probably to Argentina, probably feeling a bit overconfident there after getting flogged. The next week got flogged by Argentina in record losses, 67 points to 27. Pulled themselves back a little bit against the All Blacks. Again, the first game against the All Blacks was a bit of a disgrace in the first half. They managed to come back. Probably, again, to the All Blacks' lackluster performances in the second half as a consistent issue. So Wallabies was able to get a bit of a reprieve, but not able to win the game against the All Blacks, and then moving on to lose to the All Blacks in New Zealand the next week. This is, it's not great. And again, the consistency from the Wallabies has been a plaguing issue. And, bringing in Joseph Suaalii outside centre only further exacerbates the consistency issue with regards to selections there. So, with that being said, the referee this weekend is going to be a Southerner, Ben O'Keefe. He is a very, very, very critical referee. I think a lot of England fans will remember him from the Rugby World Cup quarterfinal, where he called the boring in from Ellis Genge and issued a match-winning penalty to the Springboks. I don't know if that's going to actually change the way he refereed the game this weekend, but I'm sure there will be a lot of talks before the game from the coaching staff, from the captains to the referee with regards to how that interpretation is going to be unfold. I do think that the Wallaby scrum is definitely improved a lot since, especially with returning to Tenala Tupou, but I think in the second half, the scrum might struggle a little bit, so the interpretation from Ben O'Keefe will be really important there for England. I thought England's performance against the All Blacks was pretty good in the first half, especially on the tight hair sides with what's his name, with Stewart against Tamati Williams. So this week, Stewart's going to play against another pretty tall loose hair prop in Angus Bell, so he might be doing the same old tricks this week as well. So watch out for that battle there and how Ben O'Keefe interprets that. We'll talk about it in a second. Finally, this will be played at Twickenham. It's going to be a Saturday. Bit cool, I think it was like 8 degrees or something. Like 8 degrees. Not too bad. A bit chilly, but at least it's not raining, so it should be a nice day for rugby with that. With regards to the weather. So now let's have a look at the selections for the rest of the team. We've had a chat about Suaalii already, so let's look at the men. That's going to have an opportunity this week to flog the Wallabies, I guess. So Ellis Genge coming number 1, Jamie George, the captain, coming number 2, and Will Stewart in number 3. I was very impressed with Stewart's performance last week against the All Blacks. I think he's going to put quite a bit of pressure on Angus Bell, like I've already said. For the Wallabies, Angus Bell number 1. Matt Fazzler, number 2, and Tenala Tupou coming in number 3. I think the line-out throw is going to be a thing that's highly contested. Fazzler's throw has improved, albeit improved a lot. Still struggles under a bit of pressure, especially with someone like Maori Toji. Really, really good at spoiling the ball. And that's going to be a very, very key area that England's going to be trying to look at. So I wouldn't be surprised if England's kicking game really will try to ping the Wallabies inside their own 22 and make them do their own defensive lineouts there. Should the lineout, should Fazler, miss one of the lineout throws early, England's going to switch and hound onto that, in my opinion. Coming to locking position, and it's now Mauro Itoje coming number 4, George Martin number 5, two locks. Did pretty well for England last week. Nick Frost coming number 4, number 5, Jeremy Williams. No Will Skelton. Nick Frost has been decent for Super Rugby, and Jeremy Williams as well has been really, really good since joining the Wallabies. I thought Nick Frost's ability to steal line-out balls was really, really good for the Brumbies. So him and Mauro Itoje will have a pretty nice battle this weekend when it comes to who's going to steal more of the lineouts. Coming to number 6, Chandler Cunningham South brings a lot of physicality in the blindside flanker position. Rob Valentini is another for the Wallabies. Brings that physicality in the blindside flanker as well. I do think Cunningham South might be a little bit better when it comes to the physicality and offload against Rob. So we have to see, because Cunningham South I thought was very, very impressive the way he's performed for England in recent times. Now the key area at the breakdown and rush defense. It comes in at 7 and 8 for England. Tom Curry, number 7, and Ben Earl, the guy that's an absolute machine at the breakdowns, an absolute machine at rush defense. This will be the difference, I think, in England and the Wallabies. I don't think Harry Wilson and Fraser McReight will be able to keep up with Ben Earl when it comes to the rush defense and the breakdown pressure that is going to apply. So, yeah, this is I think this will be the key area that England is going to have a bit of an advantage here over the Wallabies. Fraser McReight, he has been really good since returning to the Wallabies, really good at the breakdowns, but I just don't think his speed at the breakdowns is not quite there as to Ben Earl. And Ben Earl, really physical as well, ball carrying. Ben Earl, I think probably the best number 8 in the world right now. Yes, ahead of Ardie Savea in my opinion. Coming in number 8, Harry Wilson for the Wallabies, and good ball carrier, good runner, but I think that his breakdown pressure might be lacking a little bit compared to Ben Earl. Then it's key area. I think the Wallabies might struggle. Come in at number 9 for England, Ben Spencer, and number 10, Marcus Smith. Marcus Smith was absolutely amazing for England. I think those drop kicks was probably a little bit, unnecessary for England last week. If they take those opportunities out and just control themselves and kept the pressure on, the Wallabies will crack. Again, Marcus Smith scored an intercept try as well, showing his ability to read the play. And I think, with Joseph Suaalii and Noah Lolesio hasn't worked together before, there will be, Noah Lolesio does have that, sometimes he does get a bit, I would say, under pressure. Noah Lolesio does get a little bit hesitant, and there could be an opportunity for another intercept for Marcus Smith this weekend. Jay Gordon coming number 9 for the Wallabies, and 10, Noah Lolesio. I thought, I'm always a bit surprised with Jay Gordon's selection number 9. I thought maybe Nick White and even Tate McDermott would be better to start at number 9. I understand that having Tate McDermott at 9, Noah Lolesio at 10, two youngsters together probably need a bit of when things go awry, you probably want a bit of experienced player at 9 to kind of settle the situation a little bit. But I do think that Tate McDermott needs to start at 9 at some point sooner than later. If you're building towards the future, like you claim, Joe Schmidt, so just hogwash came out of his mouth this week. Yeah, building towards the future, have Suaalii at 13. My goodness. Anyway, moving on. Tommy Freeman comes in number 11 for England. Dylan Pish number 11 for the Wallabies. Wallabies like to do this thing where they put Dylan Pish, hype Dylan Pish behind a rock and just have him crash onto the 9 channel. And we'll have to see if they're going to do that again this week for him. Number 12, Henry Slade has moved from 13, and Ollie Lawrence has moved from 12 to 13. And really, really physical players. Both ends. I think Henry Slade has slightly more kicking game than Ollie Lawrence. So Henry Slade at 12 probably can feel a bit better of a playmaker role there, whereas Ollie Lawrence just physical, big carries, big ball runner, and big tackles out of the 13 plays. He's gonna have a bit of he's gonna enjoy himself this weekend against Joseph Suaalii, to say the least. Number 12, Len Ikitau for the Wallabies. Number 13, Suaalii. Len Ikitau has been amazing for the Wallabies out of the 13 jersey, so I don't know how he's gonna go at 12, because Len Ikitau works best when given the space. So I don't know. I don't think he's played 12 for, I don't know, I can't remember last time he played 12, to be honest. Len Ikitau, I mean, I think he may have, I think he did play a little bit recently with injuries, but I think, no, he did play 12, I think, recently for the Wallabies, but he did not play 12 at all under Eddie Jones or Dave Rennie, or in fact, I don't think he played any 12 in Super Rugby for the Brumbies. So, yeah. Yeah, it's just me trying to justify why he's at 12. It's already a bit of a fucking stretch. So yeah, it is what it is. It's just Rugby Australia being fucking retarded, and and Joe Schmidt. My goodness, Anyway, Joseph Suaalii, already talked about him. If he gets sent off this week for a yellow card for whatever reason, Joe Schmidt should be fired. It's just what it is. And Emmanuel Faiwa-Bosu comes in number 12 for England. Again, really, really physical, really good. Big ball runner, big body, big legs. And what else can you ask out of a 14 jersey? Andrew Callaway for the Wallabies, number 14, has a bit of a tackling issues. I think Wamboso is going to be he's probably going to miss a few tackles. He's actually going against Freeman. So Dylan Peach will be tackling while Faiwa-Bosu. At both of them, I don't think Peach and Callaway tackle percentage are that high. So Wamboso is going to have a nice game this weekend. George Furbank comes in number 15 and Tom Wright at 15. Interesting selections. Not interesting, but interesting matchup here for both teams. Neither of them are too much of a kicking sort of guy. So Tom Wright will do a bit of a counter-attacking in that regard. Coming at the reserves now on the bench. Luke Cowan-Dickie, number 16. Finn Baxter, number 17. And Dan Cole retains the number 18 jersey. I thought the reserves for the England really lacked a little bit of punching power. They really need to lift up a little bit this week. Brandon Panga Ambosa comes in number 16 for the Wallabies. Jem Slipper, number 17. And Alan Alatoa, number 18. Like I said, I really don't understand. If you're building towards the future, why isn't Alex Hodgman at 17? You used in one game, basically ruled him off from playing for another country, essentially. And then you never selected him again. Alex Hodgman, and I think the Rebels guy is injured. Whatever his name was, Kai Lea is injured. But still, if you're building towards the future, surely you'd be looking at getting rid of some of these old dogs like Jem Slipper here. Especially Jem Slipper has been quite injury prone in recent times. Number 19, Nick Isekev for England, and Alex Donbrun comes in number 20. Luka Msalakai-Loto comes in as a finisher, number 19, and Langi Gleeson at 20. I think these are pretty good selections for the Wallabies. They do want some younger, young blood and more energy, more power coming off the bench. I do like these two selections here, and number 19 and 20. And number 21, Harry Randall for England. Tate McDermott, number 21 for the Wallabies. Number 22, George Ford. Got a lot of criticism last week for missing the drop goal. I understand why they did that. It was almost like England building towards George Ford doing that drop goal at the end of the game. And it was probably poorly executed a little bit, too close. It is what it is. George Ford, kicked 4 or 5 drop goals against Argentina at the Rugby World Cup with no issues. When pressure comes on, couldn't quite deliver for England there last week. Ben Donaldson comes in number 22 for the Wallabies. Donaldson, I was probably expecting him. He wasn't performing that good. Hasn't really transitioned his form from Super Rugby to Test Rugby this year, but looking for him to build upon that. Number 23, Ollie Slidehorn for England, and Max Jorgensen, 2 youngsters coming in for both teams to finish off the team on the bench. So predictions. I think England's gonna have a pretty easy win this weekend. Just that if the coach has to come up with absolute stupid excuses to debut somebody, it's not gonna go well. It's not gonna go well, right? If you jumping through loops to try to justify the selection, right? You're not putting him on winger. You're putting him on outside center, and you're putting players out of position to fit him in, and then come up with excuses to not select Samuel Karevi. Stupid excuses. You're not gonna win this one. All right, you're not gonna win this one. It's a fucking joke. I think England blow out the Wallabies, 42 points to 15. Right, that's my prediction. 42 points to 15. Let me know your thoughts. Like, comment, and subscribe. And thanks for watching. See you guys this weekend for big rant session for this one. Cheers.